Stephen, what did you learn in the last few days?
William, what I've learned is you can put a bunch of people together from anywhere in the world in one place, and as long as a beer involved, some time, some good food, and time to chat, then that's what works. It doesn't really matter what the subject is, but this week it's really interesting. It isn't just a bunch of journalists moaning about their editor and about their expenses. It's about three people of old school desperately trying to learn new media. You put them in a room with bloggers and with HTML people and designers, and you realise how little you know, and that's really quite humbling and terrifyingly exciting, because what you really want to do then is put back into practice some of that stuff you've learned with what you already know and work out where you can go in your own direction. And 18 people will all be going in slightly different directions, but they're all going to overlap, and at the end of the day you'll finish with a fantastic project which whoever your client is or your boss is going to absolutely love.
So what are you going to do different after this?
What am I going to do differently? I'm going to learn much more about WordPress, about creating sites, about sort of using HTML from. I'd love to speak to Rob again about how important that is and what needs to be done. I've taken on board stuff from you, William, about DMO and what they want and how political it is. You can't forget, this is one of the interesting points as well, you can always think you're going to leap forward, but you're constrained by other people's opinions, and you've got to persuade them, encourage them that this is good for them, and they can understand that once you've got them on board, then you're halfway there. So that knowledge, combined with something like Valencias' vision for putting people together, letting them mix, sitting back and enjoying the party, that's very important. So I'm going to go back and not talk to so many journalists and print anymore. I'm going to talk much more to the bloggers, I'm going to read their stuff much better. And I'll be in touch with the people I've met on this trip and say, can you help me with this? Do you know about that? And that's going to be really interesting next 6 months.
So you've been on traditional fam tours before, I presume?
Hundreds.
So why do you think this one is valuable for Valencia in this new format? Because
historically, if you go on a press trip, they'll say, when's the piece going in? When's the piece going in? And they want a lovely, beautiful piece so they can show their bosses, job done. That's it, finished. In the paper, in the scrapbook, and you don't worry about it. You think about the next one. This one, there's been no pressure. Nobody's saying, what are you going to produce? When are you going to produce it? They know that you're going to go away, and maybe next week or a year's time that something will come together that they can take credit for, and Valencia will be represented in that in one form or another. Valencia will always be the inspiration for whatever projects are born out of it. It could well be like the Born project, it'll become the Valencia project in years to come. They'll look back on this as one of the think tanks for future models of social media.